For those of you wondering, yes, seatbelt cameras are real. A relative of mine just reached out to me and said, hey Joel, I was on my way. I was taking my sister to the actual airport, and she wasn't from Australia. She was from the UK, and she ended up basically having the seatbelt like this to start with. But as the drive went on, she didn't know. She put the seatbelt like that, and we found out a month later that we got a $2,000 fine in the mail. Now, I didn't think these cameras were real. I didn't think that, obviously the government tells you these things, but I hadn't heard of anyone that had gotten a fine that I knew. And now I'm asking questions. Now I'm really curious because I want to know, are there fatigue cameras out there? Because I know we read this in the news, a year or two ago, but we all kind of laughed at it, and I haven't really heard anyone that's been pinged for fatigue cameras. So let me know in the description. But it's such a clown show, because I was in Washington DC earlier this year, and I decided to look. Let's see how woke Washington DC is. It's 80% Democrat. That's how they voted for Kamala Harris last election. How woke are they? So I started talking to the Uber drivers to get a feel for the politics. And I said to them, do you guys have seatbelt cameras here that, they ping you if with a fine if you're not wearing a seatbelt, right? And they said, no, you're joking, right? You're pulling my leg, mate. I know you're from Australia, but you're pulling my leg. And I said, no. The other one is, we've also got fatigue cameras. We've got fatigue cameras as well. And he didn't believe that. And now I'm really curious, do we actually have fatigue cameras, or did they drop it? Is it like a random drinking test when you're driving on the road? Or is there actually a camera that somehow works out how tired you are? I look pretty tired right now. Would it ping me right now? Let me know. Let me know in the description. I'm really curious, because I can confirm, do not wear your seatbelt like this, because in Sydney, they will ping you. They will get you. I don't know where these cameras are, but they will ping you. And it kind of sucks if you're a woman and you're well endowed. I know some women, have had trouble with these cameras in the past. I was hearing from another cousin once I started talking about this. He said his partner, she ended up getting pinged just because the seatbelt wasn't quite right on. It was, off a bit. And it's like, who gets off on all this? Doing seatbelt cameras, revenue raising, this crap. It's not making our lives any better. Anyway, let me know in the description if you've seen anything about fatigue cameras. I'm really curious, and I want to do another video on this. I'll see you later.